Okay, so now it is January 9th of 2023. I keep saying 22 because it's January, but no, it's of 23. Look what's going on here. This is still producing. Like, look how big that one is. It's growing, and I got red ones in here. I haven't looked in here for a few days. I have to go out today, right? And I'm going to bring the camera with me. See if I can, when I'm walking around, I'm going into Walmart today, right? And just walk around. I don't know if they'll let me walk around with my camera. Most people walk around with their cell phones and do videos, but you know I don't have a cell phone. Now, I haven't been in here for a few days, so I have to water these guys. And they're still, to some degree, flowering, right? It's hard for me to see the flowers, but I know there's been a couple of flowers, so every now and then I just come in here and shake them. It hasn't been flowering that much, so I haven't really been you see, they're dry, right? I haven't really been bothering Andre to come in here and pollinate them, but they're still producing, right? And this is what I'm trying to show you. Like, look, 1, 2, I just seen another one over there. There's 3, look. See, this must be the type of, here's another one, 4. There's 4 little red ones in here that I can see so far. See, was that a flower? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know if it got pollinated though. Look. See, these guys are dry, eh? So, I'm not paying attention to them. That's why. So, hold on. Anyway, I'm going to do a little food video today. My little walnut. Why is walnuts on my mind? Because I was thinking about children's songs. That's why. I'm going to do my little walnut. Oh, there it goes again. It's those eye drops, people. Oh, man. I'm going to do my Walmart haul today. Because I'm going out, right? And I made a shopping list of what I need. Do you know what's on it? I can tell you. Cotton balls, dish soap, salmon. Obviously, I want my cans of salmon, right? I put down shoes for Andre. And there was one other thing. Bleach. I can't think of anything else that I would want outside of when I'm wandering through the store. I know I might pick up some cottage cheese or, right? Like, but there's nothing in terms of what do I want to buy? Of course, I'm looking for sales, though. You see, that's the thing, right? I wouldn't mind getting 12 more or maybe even 24 cans of evaporated milk. But I'm not going to go with the no name brand. No. I think if I'm going to do anything like that, it would probably be Carnation or something like that. Because it's going into long-term storage and I just feel more comfortable with that. I'm hoping the cans won't be too compromised. Right? Just in terms of what companies are doing to cut back on their expenses. I've been sleeping. I mean, yeah, I know I've been doing videos, but I'm doing different kind of videos. I'm going to do more of those types of videos, right? And but yeah, no, these eye drops, I'm going to have to do something to remove them from my life. They're making me dizzy, right? They're interrupting my memory. They're making me want to sleep. Oh, no. So, yeah, it's no good. I'm feeling my leaves here. When I had, what do you call it? I brought these in and stuff. I ended up going out into the garden. I got clover growing in here now. Into the garden and got some little beets and put them in between the plants. So it should be interesting to see what happens with them. Some of this parsley is just going nuts. Yeah, going completely crazy. So doing this kind of stuff works, you know? It's just, you have to be on it. Like, I don't feed them enough fertilizer, I can tell you that right now. Right? I am right now. I'm doing a liquid kind right now. And, you know, if they need help with the cross-pollination, you know, you gotta be up on that. But as my first go at it, I'm pretty impressed with it. I like it. You know, when things calm down and I get everything put away, you know, by that time I doubt these things would be producing anymore. Right? Then I'll revamp it and start with something new. You know, we'll get into growing lettuce. And I had some old dried up green onions that were in my fridge. I ended up just taking it was just, you know, right, a handful with elastic. And they were all dried up in my fridge because I forgot about them. I just took them and put them in a cup, put them on the windowsill, and they're growing back like mad. So, you know, right? So, yeah. I don't know. I can't see. That's the problem. It's hard to see. Everything blends in together, but that's okay. I manage. Right? So far, anyway. So yeah, after these are done, we'll pull them out. I've got a different kind of light that's better for when they start blooming in terms of the flowers and they've got the fruit. I think it's just a stronger light that the plants like better. Oh, here's another one. This is a little one. This is so tiny. Look how tiny this is. Can you see? It's so tiny. Let's see what we got here for tomatoes. Yeah. Oh boy. I think I did plant the wrong kind of tomato because they're all pretty much coming up at the same size. I thought they were different. There might be one or two in here that are slightly different, but for the most part, you see there's more over here. How many? One. Oh boy. Two. Let's see how many we get. Like I said, I've been ignoring them. I forgot about them. I've been sleeping. 3. I don't know if that one's red or not. Oh, here's another one. I can barely see color, but I can see it a bit. Now these ones, because they ripen on the vine, if I was canning, these would be ideal. Because you want to can tomatoes that ripen on the vine. That is the best. Right. So, maybe next year I'll have my act together. Because with the way the weather is going sometimes, I don't know, it's not like the good old days, that's for sure. You know, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, I'd have a bounty tomato crop. I'd have so many tomatoes, I'd have them coming out of my ears. All ripening outside, not to mention the ones that come in green after the fact when the weather changes. These last couple of years, I don't know. You know, we know that people have been poisoning my dirt, but I don't think that's all it. Honestly, I do think a lot of it is the sun. This, the UV rays that plants need to grow is being filtered out with these chemtrails. Because even my landlady, with her gardens, not everything is as good as it used to be for her, right? And she does, she feeds her plants and stuff. Me, not so much. Because I'm always busy with other things, right? So, this year I don't, the only thing I'm doing in the yard this year basically is just the tomatoes are starting to give off their histamines. Yes, my babies are saying good morning. Uh-huh. Yeah. Don't forget to feed us. We're thirsty and we're hungry. Uh-huh, I know. You can see, you can hear how much water I'm giving them. They like a lot of water. The heat's been on. I've been keeping the house really warm this year. Because Amari likes to throw off his blankets all the time. Like, constantly. It drives me freaking nuts. Oh my God. I go through 2 gallons of water so easy. Yeah. But they're still wanting to flower, and they're still producing tomatoes to some degree. I don't think they're going to be doing this much longer, but for now they're not getting on my nerves. So, just let it be. Here we go. I got some little peas here that are growing, but they're too far away from the light, so they're not growing as well as they could be. But that's okay. I do miss my eyesight, people. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for what I have, but at the end of the day, so much better when you can see better. Okay, let's find the rest of these tomatoes and see how many we got. If I can even see them. Oh, here's one right in front of my face. Okay, there's one there. I don't know. Let me see. Oh boy, I'm getting old. I gotta go get ready. I'm going out. But I thought I'd give these guys some water first. Yeah, here's another one hiding out. And I was saying, oh my God, these still smell like tomatoes. In the middle of January, when did I bring them in from outside? And I just put my nose right in the middle of these plants as I'm picking out this one. And it so smells like tomato plants. And that is such a cool smell, man. It's actually quite invigorating. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if it's flowering. And if it is, maybe we're not catching them. It's hard to say. And some of them are getting up to these lights again, and once they get to the lights, they start to, what is that called? The lights burn them. Burn the leaves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a baby. That's not bad. Oh, see? Did you see that? Did you see? I'm getting dizzy. I want to tell my eye doctor this. I'm seeing him today. I'm going to tell him I can't use these drops. Nope, they're making me sick, making me tired, giving me brain fog, making me dizzy. That dizziness, when I first started them, I had it for, 4, 5, 6 days. Then it kind of went away, and it's back with a vengeance. It's worse. Yeah, because my immune system's getting worn down from this medication. That's what's happening here, people. Anyway, okay, so we'll just let Lib in here. They're happy. You can see they're, right? This other light I have goes higher up on the ceiling. You have to hook it right up into the ceiling. And I don't know, it's a totally different kind of light. It's got a light bulb on it and everything. So I'm curious. I don't know if these will make babies, but we'll see. And what happens is that when I come in here and water them and, you know, move around, I touch leaves. So yeah, see, look at this one. This is a nice one. Yeah. And now that I just fed them, right, they're going to be even more happier. So when they start getting too high, I just try and encourage them to go to another direction, even if I have to, you know, get another stick and strap them on, because this is where you're going to get new tomatoes. As a matter of fact, do you see it? I see it. For as bad as my eyesight, do you see it? Do you see that flower? Where is that flower? I don't see it in the camera, but I see it right here. There's a couple of them. See? So my grandson can come in here tonight and he can cross-pollinate. Right? Because those, if you can catch them, if they don't do them on their own, that will be more tomatoes in another month from now. So these things have been growing for how many months? 2-3 months like this? That's not bad. So you see, this is where it starts to add up, right? These were from the last time I picked. I didn't get a chance though to throw them in the freezer, so I'm going to throw these in the freezer now. Okay? And then you add in a few more that I just picked, and now you got a whole bowl. Right? There you go. That's not too bad, I'd say.
Hey guys, for some reason the mall, everybody's out of the mall, because everybody's kicked out. There's a cop car over there, I'll show you. You can see the cop car, police. Yeah. So yeah, I think someone maybe stole something. We'll be back with more. We'll be back.
Okay, people. I don't know if I was a Karen today or what. I called out 2 Karens today at Save On Foods in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada, on, what's the date today? January 9th of 2023. And you're probably wondering what it's all over about, right? Seriously, man. I went off like a freaking rocket, okay? Like, seriously, I have been trying... Shelly! I have been trying since the time we talked with each other since, what, was it 6:30 in the morning? What were you doing up at 6:30 in the morning? I'd have to go into my email. Anyway, Shelly and I, forever blessed, in Massachusetts, we were talking, right? Because I sent her a gift, of some food prep stuff. So, you know, I'm trying to reassure that I'm a real person, and yes, I do live in Canada, and, you know, it's completely at arm's length, and I have no agenda, and other than I'd want your family to be, you know, have food security in your house, and, you know, I'm just kind of egging you on and helping you out just a little bit, because I'm trying to, people, I'm trying so hard to get off the bandwagon of fear porn when it relates to starvation and global famine. But you know what? Like I said, I don't get out into the grocery store as most people do. And when I go, now mind you, I buy in bulk. Like, for example, today. Let me go get it. I'm doing a video, okay? Where are you? See, this is where it bites me hard, okay? Because here's a brand name. Everybody knows this brand. It's been around since I've been a kid, okay? And it was on sale for $2.99 a can. So what do? I buy 24 cans plus one. The 24 cans cost me $74, people. Okay, just for 24 cans of evaporated milk. Right? I don't even know what the due date is on it. I don't think it's, I mean, I would have preferred it later on in terms of, you know, a year or two or whatever, but at the end of the day, you know, I don't got time to fool around. So, it's not like I'm running around town looking for the best deal for canned milk, although it was there. It's a brand that, you know, has been around for a long time. I already made up my mind, you know, with the last batch that I bought, that I wasn't planning on buying a no-name brand. So, you know, I mean, be prepared to pay for a bit more. So at $2.99 a can is fairly reasonable in light of what's been going on for the last couple of years. Okay, so we know that, right? So yes, you know, when you're doing $74 here, you know, another $60 there, and then, you know, I bought 3 cases of jars today. Ooh, I'm going to get into trouble with my son. He'll be like, you told me you weren't going to do no more canning. We're at 90% capacity in this house when it comes to food stores. We need to eat what we already have. And I'm like, as if I don't know anything that you're telling me. However, people, you know, just with the dollar amount attached to individual items, if you don't find a way to buy it in bulk, 24 cans at one time, right? You know, it's gonna get rougher. Like, I don't know what's going on. I just know that it's gonna get rougher. So anyway, okay. So you know, with Shelly, 6 o'clock this morning, you know, 6:30 or whatever it was, you know, because I'm telling her I made the order and it's going to be shipped, and just, you know, calm down, relax, be happy, don't worry, because she's worried about theft, right? Because, you know, theft is on the rise for everybody these days, it seems. And, you know, just let's both of us have a good day. So I've been trying, like, all day to have a good day, okay? Like, seriously. So, you know, all right, so I have an eye appointment. So I go to the eye appointment, you know, and of course, you know, it's like going into a whole new world where everybody's wearing a mask. Like, seriously, like, it's so bizarre, you know, because when I was in the grocery store after the fact, and, like, you know, my nose is running all the time, people, now, because of these eye drops and just whatever, right? So, like, I'm in the grocery store and I so want to blow my nose, but I don't want to start in the grocery store, right? Because, you know, it's running, so I'm going like this, and, you know, and not a single person, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 people out of the whole freaking store were wearing a mask. Like, how many people were wearing a mask in that store today, Andre? Not that many, eh? Andre?
Yeah?
How many people were wearing a mask at Save-Ons today? Not that many, eh? Hardly anybody was wearing a mask in there.
I'll say maybe like
20?
maybe.
Out of the whole store.
Yeah.
And we were in there for hours, people. Because, you know, it takes me a little longer to see things, right? I have to get up and, you know, and just, you know, and if I'm trying to read, it's even harder, and, you know, and just whatever. So, and I wasn't rushing because I was trying to have a good day. Right? So anyway, I get to the doc. I'll tell you what happened at the doctor's. This is what happened at the doctor's. He's like, he has really no time for me. Like, I don't know if I make him, I feel like I make him nervous or something. You know, and I, honestly, people, I do feel like my file has been flagged under that, what is it, C-36, that the government brought in with their legislation, to which I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, remember, well, we all know what happened to Shimei in 2018. And then I was out and about working in my yard, and, you know, I was still putting the pieces together, and, I mean, there's only so much you can do, and, I mean, I knew there was something wrong there, and, so I was going to take it to the Premier's office, and at that time it would have been John Horgan, right? And ask the Premier to investigate it or something. I wasn't thinking about suing the government, people, at that time. Soon after, within the first year of Shimei dying in 2018. She died in April. So we'll give it within the year, right? So as I'm, I have a lot of pressure to work in the yard, and we have Mari, and just whatever. So, at that time, I wasn't thinking about a lawsuit. I'm pretty sure I wasn't. I have to go back into my old videos and see what I was thinking, right? Because I wanted to reach out to the Premier and, have the Premier, in a good way, get involved, right? And I remember going to my local MLA, Bruce Ralston, who I already know and met with Uncle John when we were advocating for the nonprofit and to bring in a universal school meal program. But when we met with Bruce Ralston at that time, he was in opposition. He wasn't he wasn't the leader of the provincial government. His party was not the leader of the provincial government. It is now, but back in those days it wasn't. So anyway, in 2018, I'm pretty sure it was 2018. When did the BC NDP? When did the NDP come into power? I don't know how that worked, because I remember. Anyway, I have to go back and just put the dots together, right? I went to his office talking on about Shimei because I wanted help, right? I'm pretty sure it had nothing to do with Uncle John, quote unquote, per se. I mean, Uncle John's always there, people, okay? Doesn't matter what story comes in front of Uncle John. As soon as the story's there, Uncle John's coming up and he's right there, okay? He's never going to be left behind, okay? Ever. Ever. And if anyone needs his story told, it's Uncle John. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm pretty sure it was Shimei. Or maybe it was Uncle John. I don't know. I just remember going directly to Bruce Ralston's office, asking him to help me to get an investigation going. I don't think it was the medical kidnapping of Uncle John. I feel like it had something to do with Shimei, because I was talking about taking it to the Premier's office. And that's why I went to Bruce Ralston's office to help get that going, to have his office take it to the Premier, right? And he told me to get my paperwork together fast, because first of all, 10,000 files within the healthcare system is just a drop in the bucket. And to dig through 10,000 files to get into Shimei's file, you don't want to leave it too long where you've got to go through 30,000 files just to get to Shimei's file, based on the numbers of people that flood the healthcare system and those files compound, right? Okay. So he said, whatever you're going to want me to take to the Premier or whatever it was, you have to, get this going to me in now. It was like right around the time Shimei died. I'm pretty sure. And he said that the government can do anything in terms of pulling up medical files or whatever it was needed in order to root out criminal activity, aka fishy stuff. To what I'm saying is, if Bruce Ralston is telling me to get whatever I am asking for to him right away so that he can go back to the government and get the government to start plugging in to get the files from the medical system. Okay? Just because when I file my lawsuit, people, doesn't matter which one it is, I'm always asking for an investigation. And I never get it on a provincial level or on a corporate level like in Fraser Health Authority or CIBC Bank. CIBC Bank, and trust me, it ain't over with CIBC Bank yet. It is not. Because all I have to do when I'm ready is photocopy what I got that I sent to court that Judge Ross ignored. That same information, all of it, and a bit more. And seriously, I'm going to send it at some point in the future to the head office of CIBC Bank, wherever it's located in the East, to the main top CEO. And I'm going to ask for an investigation. Will I get it? Probably not. But me going back to court facing CIBC Bank with their crooked lawyers so they can cover up what they did because they don't want to get, in trouble with Fraser Health Authority because ultimately one couldn't do what the other one did unless they did it together, right? So they're covering each other's asses. That's what I'm going to be telling this guy, the CEO, as the government itself, the one that said, Bruce Ralston, well, just get, put everything together and come to me and, yeah, I'll take it to the government and, if there's any, we can pull out any medical records that we want, people. And that was how many years ago? Before even Bill C-36 had been, voted in. I don't want to say drafted, because clearly it was drafted when I went to go see Mr. Ralston, because he was confident that the government could just go in there and pluck out this and pluck out that when it related to medical files at the request of the Premier and the government as a whole. And there was no legislation giving them the right. But if we fast forward to now, the big debate is this Bill C-36, which gives the government the right to muck around with your personal medical files at their whim. Okay? The problem with that, though, is people, and I know it has nothing to do with food right now, okay? But the problem, because I've been thinking about this, right? The problem with that, though, is people, is like, it's just like me. Like I've been saying it, if you take the legislation to them, when they're at fault within their legislation, this is why I have to read Uncle John's lawsuit. I don't care how thick it is. I don't care if it takes 20 videos to read it. But I need to read it word for word and talk about it, right? So that people understand that the legislation is written to make it look like it is to protect the person, right? And whatever, right? Depending in the context of what you're dealing with, right? But at the end of the day, and there's provisions, they have to follow the provisions, they have to follow the rules, they have to follow the mandates, right? They have to follow the legislation, and all that becomes provisions within legislation, within mandates, and it all intertwines with each other, and it all starts to read the same at some point throughout the different types of legislation to make it look like that the government is serious in protecting the public. But when you call them on it after they've been exposed with their rhetoric in terms of they don't protect the public, they exploit the public instead, right? And they commit crimes under the Criminal Code of Canada. They have multiple acts of breach of trust within their own provincial legislations and rules and regulations and all this other crap. And so you can clearly point it out here. You can clearly point it out here. You can insert your evidence, and they still ignore it, people. They still ignore it. Right? So the point is years ago when I approached Bruce Ralston to talk about taking information to government, more than likely it had something to do with Shemaine. You know, because by that time, you know, I mean, who would I take? Fraser Health Authority? I had already done that with Uncle John, people. Right? You know, so why would I go back? Right? And Mr. Ralston said specifically, get your paperwork in fast because you don't want those medical files getting buried within 10,000 medical files because it packs up fast. Right? Because the government can do what the government wants. And if the government wants those medical files or whatever the frick it was I was asking for, because I was asking for a full investigation, right? You know, it didn't matter where the government went. They could just pluck out those files because they were government, right? And you know, but I never followed through on that because one, you know, I couldn't gather everything together fast enough, and you know, and my faith in the governance of this province is teetering, you know, and the older I get and just whatever, the more it teeters, right? So it's not like, you know, I was all gung-ho, you know, like, and you know, I'm glad I didn't do it though, people, because it would have been just the same old shenanigans. They would have done what they've been doing. You know, it doesn't matter if it's coming from the RCMP office. It doesn't matter if it's coming from the coroner's office. It doesn't matter if it's coming from the healthcare system itself in terms of Fraser Health and their staff within their hospital or wherever. You know, it doesn't matter, right? Like, you know, at the end of the day, they write the legislation to give you a false sense of security. But at the end of the day, there's nothing secure about it, and as a matter of fact, they'll use it against you. And when you call them on it, in terms of how they actually commit breach of trust and all this other stuff, with intent for malicious purposes to be mischievous, right? All things fall under the Criminal Code of Canada, not to mention their rules, regulations, and mandates. You know, like, and then it's just so much bullshit. But I guess they needed the legislation. The point of that, people, is I guess the government, in this case the NDP, needed the legislation in black and white to where they can say it's legitimate for when they go in and just snag into your personal medical files for whatever reason, and they can do that, I can almost guarantee it, without informing you that they've done it, because the only people that they're going to target, you see, that's the thing, because they're not doing it. Here's the point. They're not doing it, people, because they want to root out crime. They're not doing it, people, because they want to end medical kidnapping and illegal organ harvesting or anything malfeasance when it comes to injuring children at the time of their birth so that they can be plugged into the services to keep that money flow going into the system as they sign the children up to experimental research studies. Okay? There's a profit to that, people. Trafficking of human bodies, whether dead or alive, is big business. And people are trafficked in more than in one way. It doesn't have to always relate to sex, okay? So, you know, Andre, turn that down. Let me finish what I want to say here, okay? So anyway, I never could do that. I just couldn't gather everything up fast enough. And I don't think it ever really sat well with me after he said that, because I didn't, you know, I don't necessarily believe, I at one point I did believe in the Premier. I'd like to think that I believed in the NDP when they came into power, but, you know, over time that eroded, right? And it's like beyond, I can't say that anymore, people, because what they're doing, you know, like, it's not for the benefit of the Uncle Johns. It's not for the benefit of Shmei, me, the kids, Aunt Mari, whoever. There's just no benefit to it. There is no benefit to it because they're not going to stand up for justice. Because if they were going to stand up for justice, they'd stand up for Shmei and Uncle John and everything else that I wrote in that fucking lawsuit that's already pending on their bloody desk. Okay? Right? If you're doing it because you want to protect people, under your legislation or whatever it is. 'Cause I can't honestly speak as to what's in that legislation because I haven't read it fully, okay? And I'm just coming into awareness of it. And honestly, I really should probably try and figure out how I can read this bloody thing, because it doesn't sound very good, people, because I know how it works. You see, that's the thing. They're not building the legislation in order to protect the public. They're building it in so that they can get into my files and stalk me as I go from facility to facility to agency, right? Do you understand? Because, you know, this eye doctor, listen, I'm a threat to the government, because if I could do it, well, I probably could if I put my mind to it, because it doesn't matter what you write. As long as you fucking write something, you pay your $200 to file it, and you sue them again. Seriously, I shouldn't be getting all bent out of shape that I gotta write it the way they want it, because it doesn't matter how you write it. They never freaking want it, because they don't stand up for fucking justice. How about that? How about that? So if you don't stand up for justice, what the hell do you need access to other people's medical files for? Unless, of course, it's requested by a family member as a result of quote-unquote death, or maybe the personal, of an individual that, has been targeted by the healthcare system and is still being screwed around and not even getting... I have heard people not even being able to get their own medical files after requesting, because so-and-so is screwing them around. Okay? So, what reason does the government have to do it unless in terms of tapping into somebody's medical files for any reason other than to fight for fucking justice so that people aren't exploited within the system? Are they going to do an audit? Do they want to do an audit? They don't need to audit individual... Well, I suppose they could. Compare it to what the hospital is charging the government, comparing it to what a doctor's office is charging per patient through those files. If you wanted to do that kind of audit, then yeah, maybe I could see it. But that's for audited purposes, to weed out the riffraff within the government for those that are being, that are doing the billing, not the ones that are being billed, that are doing the billing. If they wanted to get into Sierra's medical files, here's an example. If they wanted to get into Sierra's medical files, okay, to weed out the pharmacare fraud that's going on at Surrey Memorial Hospital, because it's going on, people. Sierra herself said it was going on. Okay? They were wheeling her off to go get an operation, and then when it came time to have the operation, they threw her clothes at her, told her to get her clothes on and get the fuck out because the operation was canceled. No, it wasn't canceled, people. It was billed to her welfare MSP, right? And somebody else that wasn't covered got the operation. Okay? Yeah. That's exactly what's going on. So, if the government was using it to weed out that kind of crap, save itself some money, then yeah, maybe I could understand it. But that's not what they're trying to do, because they don't fight for justice. They don't fucking try and put the brakes on crime. No, what they do is they target people and they hide medical files that they don't like to acknowledge. Okay? That's what they do. So in the meantime, I go to my eye doctor. This guy, I don't know. I asked him. I straight up asked him today, people. I did. I said, was that you who ran past me the last time I came in and I was late? I was trying so hard not to be late, and I end up being late anyway. And I told him, I was trying so hard not to be late, but I ended up being late anyway. Then it turns out my appointment was at 2:30, but yet I see you run by. Was that you? He goes, well, what time did you get here? I said, I don't know, it was like 3:30 or something like that. He said, well, it couldn't have been me, because I had to leave at 3:20 because my son is in school and I had to go pick him up, and he's only 8 years old. I had to pick him up. And he got all fucking defensive with me over it, and I'm like, well, okay, like, you know, I didn't go okay, but I'm like, yo, well, you know, of course, right? And then he goes, you know, just forget it, right? Because, you know, so, oh God, man, like, and like he spends, I don't know, all he did was ask me how things were going, and I said, well, you know, I'm sleeping more, I've got brain fog, right? You know, what else is it? I have my good days, I have my bad days, and tripping over my words, right? More, right? And other than that, you know, I've been kind of using my landlord stuff, right? He goes, oh, well, you know, I've done, and I asked him about cataracts. He says I have them, but they're not, you know, it's not like severe, and it's not nothing, that's not the priority. That's not the priority is still the pressure. I'm still at 20 PSI. And you know, he's so afraid that I'm just going to lose my eyesight like that, right? So, you know, he's like, well, so he's booking me in to go meet with a specialist, an eye surgeon, in a couple of weeks or so, to discuss eye surgery, to relieve this pressure, as well as do cataract surgery at the same time. And as he was telling me that, he was telling me that, you know, in terms of what my landlords gave me, that could be anything. And, you know, and he don't know if it's good for me or not. But from his experience, you know, he's gone to India, and he said millions of people out there are, like, going blind, right? Like, millions are blind. And he didn't say going, he said blind. And just with the people and their cultural behavior, with just kind of whatever, you know, he says, you don't know, like, what, he says, if there was such truth to what my landlords are telling me, right, that would be out on the market right now, because they're looking to get rich. If you can put a little bit of this turmeric, a little bit of honey, with a secret ingredient that nobody, you know, I don't know what that third ingredient is, I just know there's 3 of them there, could be anything, right? And it actually gets rid of my cataracts. Oh my God, my landlords would be billionaires. That's what he basically said. Yeah. Yeah, he says, lots of people in India just mixing up this and mixing up that, putting in their eyes. He says, but if that really worked, he wouldn't be doing cataract surgery on hundreds of people in India because of the problems that they have with cataracts and whatnot. So there you go. He didn't tell me not to use it. He just said, you know, you know, he doesn't know what's in it. Could be anything from his experience from going to India and seeing how the people are, and it's like winning the lottery. If you get it mixed up right, and it actually does the job, oh God, you'll be rich. But other than that, he said, no, too many people going blind, millions of people going blind in India. So there you go. So I don't know, I'll probably ease up on it for a while. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just let my eyes do whatever my eyes do. Just use what I've got. Try and regulate myself better here in terms of... He said I was doing a really good job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you think so? That's why I'm like off the map with the times. And, you know, I'm missing a drop here. And it's just... so. But he doesn't spend like hardly any time with me. I think I'd make him feel uncomfortable. And honestly, I do feel like I honestly do feel like the government's somebody already came by making inquiries, or they're forwarding my file to the fucking attorney office so Sonia too can study them. Yep. Because they're trying to figure out how to get rid of me, people. I got my disability papers today. One doctor, this doctor, he filled them out. I'm not taking them to my family doctor. I told him, I have a family doctor, but it's not like I can go see him. No, he told me to take him to court. And I told her, and I might be having to do that yet. Yeah, yeah. This shit here is not funny, people. Okay? Right? Because my doctor is the only doctor that can, like a family doctor or like a clinical doctor, he is the only doctor who can give me a referral to see any kind of eye specialist outside of a clinic. So when he told me to take him to court in December of 2020, because he didn't want me, he didn't want me to have Sierra's or Shimei's medical files. Right? I didn't go to the hospital, Royal Columbian Hospital, until September of 2022. That's almost 2 years, people. I went without seeing an eye specialist because of what my family doctor did to me. But it's not just simply him, though. You see, that's the problem. There's other factors in there that, what, Fraser Health Authority is responsible for? Hell no. Fraser Health Authority is not the one that made doctors refuse to see patients because their bills were being paid by the provincial government, right? And they didn't need to see patients. They just needed to make it look like they were open, right? In order to get that subsidy from the government, okay? I'm just saying. So anyway, I don't know. He even said to me, I can keep him as my eye doctor or whatever, you know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like he knows more than he's telling me. But again, you know, I'm at the mercy of these individuals. Anytime I come into contact with them within the healthcare system or any other government agency for that matter, right? And so yeah, so anyway, let's get back to this Karen thing, and I'm going to end this video, okay? So Shelly and I were trying to have a good date. We start off at 6:30 in the morning or whatever it was, and, you know, I get to the eye doctor, and, you know, he's a little skittish, and, you know, he's defensive because he, you know, he has to go pick up his son at 3:20, and it wasn't him who ran by, to which I think he was telling me a fib, but besides that point, you know, because he got way too defensive over it, you know, because ultimately I was trying to apologize because, you know, I was the one that was late, right? And so besides that point, and then Andre and I, we go off to go to Walmart, right? You know, we're going to go through the whole store because I got a little extra time. But I guess somebody went in there and bear maced something in Walmart, so they ended up kicking everybody out of the mall, and including Walmart. So as we're walking, there's all these people outside, nobody's inside, nobody can go inside, and I'm like, well, gee, how long are you going to be standing outside for? Like, this is like, you know, I'm not doing this, right? So we go to see if maybe the Walmart food store is open. So we're having to walk. Anyway, long story short, we came across Save-On Foods, which is kind of like a somewhat big box chain out here, right? That was open. So I went in there. Long story short, I spent several hours in there, really. I spent more than I wanted to, but I don't care. Not at this point. I'm almost done. I'm near the end of my food prepping and all this shit, but, you know, and like, I spent, what, $850 on my credit card? But I get child support, so that's okay. I'll pay it back soon enough. Right? Because I only have, nobody takes me out shopping. So I only have limited opportunity to actually do that. So, and I buy in multiples, right? And I bought some high ticket items, $10, $11 per item times 8. Right, it was $74 for that evaporated milk, 12 cans, or sorry, 24 cans. Okay, the point is I bought some jars, so that was another $60 or whatever. Because that's my mental therapy, right? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, go through the till, pay my bill, you know, trying to have a good day, not getting upset that I spent that amount of money. It's not a big deal. It's nothing that can't be fixed, right? You're going to have a good year, so don't sweat it. You know what I'm saying? And I bought meat because it was on sale, and I am going to can it. We'll talk about that later. And, but I have to put it somewhere, so I was going to put it out on my porch in a box for the night, cover it up, and deal with it in the morning, because it's cold outside, right? Because I don't have any room in the fridge for that. I ended up making room in it, because I didn't put it out on the porch, but anyway. So, I have them doubly, and they have, like, plastic bags, right? Okay, here, we're getting into the Karen part here in a minute, okay? And I guess they charge $10 10 cents a bag. And I already, like, when she was going through the till, right? I asked her to put the meat into bags, individual bags, because I needed to store it and I didn't want it leaking out everywhere, right? So she did that. So I'm assuming she charged me 10 cents a bag. So it's not like I didn't pay for bags. But after went through and I paid, right? And she left. And because I had a big order, she said, "Oh, that's the biggest order I've ever seen." I said, "I don't know how that can be, because I didn't buy that much, really, in terms of, I didn't even have a full shopping cart, really. But I can do 3 buggies. Now that's a big order. But 3 buggies back in the day is probably 1.5 buggies now, if not 1 buggy. Right? And if people could only walk around buying baskets, if you come in with a full buggy and a little extra on the side, I suppose that would be a big order. But anyway, she just kind of threw everything into bags, and some people are just scatterbrains, right? They have no sorting out skills. And so I'm left standing there, and because she left, nobody else was in line, right? They went elsewhere. So I'm standing there having to pack up my bags that I brought, my, carry bags, right? And, pack it tight, right? However, right? And I get to the meat, and, the pork was very juicy, right? And, I don't want blood everywhere, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to double bag. I'm here by myself. Nobody's helping me. Right? And I only had 7 packs of meat. Seriously. So what? 7 bags later? What the fuck, right? At 10 cents a bag after I spend $850. Okay? So I'm having a good day. Feeling good for Shelly, feeling good for me, feeling good for the world, just feeling good, and I'm just really trying to give out that good vibe, you know what I'm saying? I'm not getting mad about the amount of money that's, being paid for that amount of stuff. And I'm feeling grateful that I'm even in a position where I can do this, and, and just whatever, right? And I'm minding my own business. You see, that's the thing. And no staff is helping me to pack this shit up properly, right? Because the cashier just ran off and left it with me. And what she did throw in the bag, that's what she did. She just threw it all in there. So it was all, I bought a whole bunch of butter, because I want to make some more ghee at some point in the future. So I bought unsalted, that's another high ticket price, $7 a pound, right? Oh my God. And I bought, I don't know, quite a few, probably $80 worth of butter. See how it adds up? Because I'm going to make another batch of ghee in about 3 or 4 weeks from now. Because I have to buy again, right? And then I'll have enough. And I'm going to jar it up. And then I'm just, because, you know, even if butter was to run out or got extremely expensive, I'm pretty sure I could use ghee with dates, like making a date square. I don't think you have to use butter. If I remember correctly, I haven't made date square in a long time. I'm pretty sure they use butter in the oats. So ghee would be suffice if you can't find butter. Okay, so anyway, I'm not complaining, right? Andre and I, we had a good day. You know, minding my own business. I'm getting near the end of what I've been doing. I'm finishing up with the meat so it doesn't leak all over everything. I already paid for some bags to put the meat in, but they're thin, right? So I just grabbed a few bags and I'm double bagging now and making it tight, right? So if it leaks, it stays in the one bag, and then you got the outer bag to prevent it from leaking out even further, okay? And I'm packing them nicely in a box because I asked for a box, so they gave me a box, right? So it's not like I'm doing this in secret here, okay? So I grab another bag, I put one meat per bag, right? I'm almost done. And then I got this blonde, chubby blonde cashier behind me turns around, like she's a cashier, she running people through, right? But for whatever reason, she got the bee in her bonnet. I'm doing what I'm doing. Next thing I know, she's standing right here beside me, telling me I can't take bags. I looked at her, and I got a bag in my hand, right? I looked at her. I said, you gotta be kidding me. I just spent $850 here, right? Oh, well, you know, they're 10 cents a bag. And she grabs the bag, people, literally. This is just a 10-cent little plastic fucking bag, okay? She grabs the bag out of my hand. I looked at her. I'm telling you, I went off, people. I went off. If she thought she was a freaking Karen, no, bitch. I'm a Karen. I just like, you know, God, I don't know, I just started screeching. You know, right? You know, like, you're a Karen. I straight up called her a freaking Karen. I said, you gotta be freaking I didn't say freaking, I said fucking. I said, you gotta be fucking crazy that for you to be over, right? Anyway, I ended up having some change and slapped down the fucking change, told her to take her bags and shove her up her ass, right? Next thing you know, she calling, hey, security, right? Or the manager. She called the manager. And the manager comes and I'm like, yeah, well, you do realize, like, you know, I spent $850 in this store. It wasn't like I hadn't paid for bags already. And if she wanted fucking 10 cents per bag, all she had to do was ask. She didn't have to, you know, get all rude and obnoxious. Well, she's just doing her job, you know. And I'm like, no, that's not doing her job. I said, she's being a freaking Karen. And then, she won't go away. She's standing there, she's watching me. She's not helping me, people. She's just watching me, right? And I'm like, well, why are you watching me? Like, right? Right? Because I already slapped down $3 and change. Not that I used $3 and change of bags. I only had 7 pieces of meat. So at best I would have only used 7 bags. Right? 70 cents. I gave you $3. Talk about a profit. Right? You know what I'm saying? And she's standing there. And I'm like, well, why are you standing there? Why are you watching me? Like, is there an issue? Like, you know, is there something I should be aware of here? Oh, no. Just making sure everything's okay. And I said, well, yeah, well, like, if you want to help or, like, you know, and she wouldn't go away, right? And I'm like, you know, that's, you know. And then eventually she left, right? Because I told her I wasn't leaving until I was going to go through the bill, and that if I needed her, I'd go find her. Right? Other than that, she didn't have to stand there and watch me as if I was a criminal over freaking 70 cents worth of plastic. bags. So in the meantime, as this is going on though, now we've got another Karen at the teller over, right? I think this was before the manager came. Because she started beaking off. I straight up told her to fucking shut up and mind her own damn business and stop being a freaking Karen. Seriously. She goes, I said, yeah, okay, you take your 2 little fucking bags and mosey on because you're definitely a freaking Karen. I said, you don't even know what the hell is going on. I was so mad. Oh man, I sprung to action so fast, people. Like, I couldn't believe it. Because you know what it is, too, right? You know, people are so, like, edgy. Like, I don't get out a lot, right? And, you know, I'm not sure. On YouTube, I'm in combat mode all the time, for the most part, to one degree or another, right? You don't know when I'm going to spring to action on YouTube. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm a very easygoing, open, loving, nurturing human being that very rarely comes in, like, you know, I have no intentions of antagonizing people because that's what I like to do, right? So, but so many people are on edge that, I don't know, they feel like they can antagonize me, you know? And, just like that woman, she literally grabbed the bag out of my hand as I was in the process of finishing doing their job when it comes to packing up the bags, right? But you see, they don't see it like that anymore, right? I just went off on her like a fucking rocket. How dare you? You're just a Karen. Like, what the heck is wrong with you? You know, just go back to your cash register and do your damn job. Like, yeah, here you want $10, 10 cents a bag. Here, stuff it up your ass. Take your fucking bag with you. Oh my god. Oh, I tell you, just like, it was so uncalled for, people. I told him I'm never coming back to that store ever. That's when she called the manager. And then the manager tried to make excuses by saying it was just her job. Yeah, okay. Just her job. You know, if Walmart would have been open, I would have been in there and I would have spent that $850 there and I would have got my reward points. Okay? But I was having a good time in Save On Foods. I hadn't been there in years, right? Because I don't get out that much. Because there used to be one over here and I used to shop there all the time. But, you know, with my car off the road and that kind of thing, and with my shopping habits completely, with the big bulk orders and stuff, like, so, yeah. And I'm like, oh, Judy, I was ready, people. If they wanted to carry on with that shit, I wasn't gonna back down. No, because that's pretty freaking pathetic, if you ask me. Okay, like, completely uncalled for. Completely uncalled for. Like, and that's the thing. She did it on purpose. She grabbed the bag out of my hand. I said, like, you gotta be kidding me. I spent $850, and I'm holding this bag, right? I said, you gotta be kidding me. I spent $850, you do realize I spent $850. Well, it doesn't matter. The bags are 10 cents. And she grabs the fucking bag. Well, that was it. You want to be a Karen? I'll show you a fucking Karen. You want to get your Karen girlfriends coming in? Hey, you know what? I can be a Karen 2 times around. Stupid shit. People are, like, stupid. Yeah. And if my shop was the biggest shop that cashier has seen, then there's something wrong. Seriously. Then there is definitely something wrong. Okay? It shows you that people's shopping habits are shrinking and they're taking it out on those around them as they fight over 10-cent bags. Okay? As if 10 cents, 70 cents, 50 cents, even a dollar was going to bankrupt Save On Foods. Because I'm not going back there for a long, long time. I don't need to. You see, that's the thing. I don't need to. I was there. I moseyed around. I had a great time. And their staff ruined it. Literally. Yeah, their staff ruined it over a measly 70 cents. And that just shows you how pathetic society really is. But I had other people looking at me going, yeah, you go girl, right? Because I know other people are pissed off about this penny pinching from corporations. 10 cents a bag here, 10 well, I guess it's like a penny, right? If you got to keep that penny, you got to count that penny in, because that penny could turn into $1 million. And there's truth to that, right? In terms of interest and how long you play the game for, right? So, it's just stupid shit, man. Oh, stupid shit. So anyway, I'm back home. Created myself a big mess, as usual. I will never need Borax again for the rest of my life. Nope. I bought some more Borax. And I bought these, I don't know, these little round things with powder bleach. Because bleach is like $10 just for a jug of bleach. And that's pathetic. So I don't know how well it's going to work, but I'm going to try it out. And so I'm still doing little preps around that, right? Because, I don't want to have to go pay $20 for a bottle, or even $15 for a bottle of bleach next year. No. No. And if I ever get into washing diapers for Amari, I'm going to need bleach, right? Because I've always want to put him in cloth diapers at least for half a day, right? Just haven't gotten to that point yet, because you got to be dedicated to be doing diapers. Trust me, I know. I did them for my other kids for 7.5 years between them all. All right, and it's, you got to be dedicated to what do you call it? Run that diaper pail. And it's nice to have a little bit of bleach. So I don't know how bleach powder will work, but I can't see myself paying $15, $20 for a jug of bleach when I can use a tablespoon of bleach powder. So I picked up extra on those, right? Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know. People, it's like that one that was like on the other aisle, like, why did she even bother to poke her nose into it? There was nothing, no reason for her to say anything other than pack your shit up and leave, right? You bought what you wanted and has nothing to do with you, and just move on, right? But no. She had to pipe up and, just whatever. I just bounced and went off on her and told her to shut up. Mind her own business. Yeah. Measly 70 cents. You think you know it all, and you don't know nothing. So, I can only imagine what it's going to be like in a year from now, people, if the economy continues to go in the direction that it's going in. I can only imagine how people will respond to each other. And I'm going to end it on this. My spidey, okay, my little spidey senses, I do feel like somebody's pulling on my medical files. Well, I don't know. It's been like that for a long time, right? But, what was I gonna say? I already forgot. It's been a long day. So for as hard as I tried to be happy all day, I don't know. I just don't understand people. Like, I just don't. Do you know how easy it would have been for that cash register lady with her back turned from me just to do her job and mind her own damn business as if I was gonna run off with all the fucking bags? Seriously. Well, what kind of brownie points was she trying to get for 70 cents worth of bags? Was she hoping for a promotion? Right? She saved the company 70 cents? Right? She nipped a bag robber in the bud? I don't know. I mean, clearly it was an unusual sight because most people wouldn't just go and grab a bag. But you left me there all by myself with my groceries scattered all over around, right? So I just spent $850, so I didn't think a few bags was going to be a problem. But it was. And if it's like that now in 2023 in January, you can only imagine what it's going to be like in a year from now if things continue to go in the direction that it's going in, with the cost of living going up higher and higher and higher. Right? So I'm back in the kitchen, and then I have to worm my way downstairs and start organizing and putting things away. But I was a naughty girl today. My son came up the other day and gaslighted me. He said, Mom, he goes, oh, look at this ham, because those jars are sitting there, right? Oh, you know. And then he started gaslighting me, asking me when I was going to quit canning. I said, soon, right? I got to do that turkey, and, you know, I want to do my fish, and, you know, blah, and, you know, I'm burning out. And then he just kind of like, well, you do realize that, you know, you don't really have no place to put this stuff. We're at 90% capacity. When do you plan on quitting, Mom? When it's 100%, 110% past capacity? And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Shut up. You know, well, you know, I said, look, that meat came from the Christmas Bureau, right? I counted up. Well, you could have gave me some. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I gave him a ham tonight. I found one on sale, and I bought two, and I gave him one. And I'm canning what I bought. I don't care what he says. Because at the end of the day, he's going to end up cooking with it anyway. So what difference does it make, right, people? As long as it helps to keep me sane. You know, not commit no crimes here. I paid for the jars. I paid for the meat. It's all an up and up. Right? It helps me to just, you know, go with the flow. I'm going to jar up the dates, start jarring them up. Last couple of days I've been, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. So there you go. I was a Karen.
Hello guys, look who came at the door. I can done something right now. But yeah, we have this fella. Give him some food. It's actually really from a cat. Look. Sniff. Get bet. Oh, no. Don't be shy. It's okay. Eat. Oh yeah, he's a little bit shy. Or is she? I don't know.
And we also have one of Moses stuck right there. Miss.
But look. You are one funny cat, you know that? You should like almost... yeah. That's it. Right here.
Which one? Where?
Right there.
Oh, hello. You're a big guy. Where did you come from? You're so fuzzy. And it's starving. What is it with all these strange cats coming to my house, man? Look, we got little Mo up there,
Chillin'.
chilling.
Little Mo and that cat, Little Mo just runs to it and sniffs it.
Hello.
It's a little bit shy.
It's weird looking.
It's a little bit shy.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's starving. All these starving cats.
It tries to come in, but it doesn't.
It's scared. It's weird looking cat. I've never seen a cat like that. Let me see your face. Hey. You dirty cat. I can feel it in your fur. I think this is a stray. All these strays come into my house.
If we keep on feeding it now, it's gonna be coming here
it's
now.
starving.
So,
Look at little Mo. She says, oh, I just got my spot in life now. This is my house now. She doesn't go nowhere. Shit. This is funny. This is too funny. This like two cats in the last, what? 3 weeks.
oh yeah, this one's funny.
Oh, it lets you touch it, but it won't let me touch it. Does it even have a tail?
Yeah, it does.
I don't see no tail.
It's just because the tail's at the back, right here, right there.
It's a stubby little. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Has white paws too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Can't sleep.
Well, see ya, buddy. Have a good night. Bye.